Walleyeotta, say hello. We have ice fishing soon approaching. I know nobody wants to talk about it yet because everybody's bow hunting, fishing, but there's a lot of people that look forward to ice fishing. So this is a little tutorial on how I made this right here. This is an automatic hook set. I'm going to show you real quick. This is going to go in here. My line's going to go in here. It's going to be hanging in the hole. This lure right here is just for demonstration purposes. This is going to just be your minnow or whatever you have swimming in the hole. When he comes along and hits, it automatically sets that hook. Make sure you always have your drag set loose so that when he is on there, he's got room to run with it, so you're not going to snap your rod or flip your thing over or anything like that. But I'll show you real quick on how this is all put together. What I have, actually, let me, I'll go through this here. This is everything you're going to need to do this. I made this all out of scraps. All scrap pieces of wood that I had in the garage. This thing right here is your trigger. Once I'm done explaining this whole thing, there's going to be a little video on how I make that right there. So stay tuned. If you want to learn how to make that thing, this is nothing but a coat hanger. You're going to have that. You're going to have a board that's 16 inches by 6 inches. You're going to have 5 holes drilled in it at 4 inches, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 inch apart. You're going to have this little eye right here, this eye hook with a screw on it. You need one of those. That will screw into the end right here. You're going to have 2 legs, 12 inches long. It all depends, this is probably about 1.5 inches. I ripped these boards down. You're going to pre-drill 2 holes on each end. You're going to put a screw 2 inches long through one end. Right there. And that will screw into the side so that it folds up into your thing. You're going to need a piece of rope about, this is 22 inches long. You can probably get away with a little shorter, but this just gives you a lot of extra play for doing what you're doing. You're going to need a dowel of some sort. I used ink pens. I just took ink pens, cut them off, and I drilled a hole through them. And you're going to feed that rope through. And then what you're going to end up doing is once you figure out where you want it, you're going to come right here and you're going to tie a knot. You're going to tie a knot in this so that it can't come back through. So you can always readjust this too. That's why you have a little extra rope. So just in case you have a longer rod or a shorter rod and you need extra or you want to tighten it back up, you can pull it further and put a knot closer. And then when you're putting it together, your little trigger, your rope is going to go through this bottom loop right here, and you're going to tie this right here. So again, you have a 4x4. I've got 2 2x4s. 4 inches high. You're going to screw 1 screw into the base of this. When you screw that together, then you can drill your hole, because you don't want your other screw in there so that when you're trying to drill your hole, you hit that other screw. You want to make sure you avoid that. So put one screw in, so that's make sure that it's just secure and it's not going to move anywhere. You're not going to hit the screw, and when you're done drilling your hole, you're going to put your other screw in. As you can see here, I've got that eye hook right at the very end. That goes to this dowel right here, and that fits in any one of the holes you want. Whatever size dowel you use is going to determine how big of a hole that you have. So I can't really tell you use a 1/4 inch or whatever. If you're using a 1/4 inch dowel, you want a 1/4 inch hole. It's that simple. Just whatever size dowel you're going to use is the size of the hole that you're going to have. This hole right here, I used a 1 1/4 inch wood bit. And that's just going to, that there too will determine the end of your fishing rod, your butt. So however big of a butt you have on your rod is going to determine how big of the hole that you're going to have. But this is going to fold up. Like that. So first nice and easy storage. This will never come off. Each way it hits and stops, so you can't lose this. When you're putting this on, you want to make sure that when you'll tie this end on first. Then you'll feed it through here. Make sure you do this first. Make sure you feed it through. Then you figure out with your rod whatever bend you're going to want, where you're going to want it. And then you're going to tie your knot on this end. So that's what you have. I'm going to fold this out. I'll show you how to do it again. I forgot to add these screws right here that hold that. So we'll set her again one more time. This will go up by the edge of your hole. You're going to take your rod. You're going to put your rod in your holder. Take a little line out. So this right here is your trigger. This is the most important part of the whole thing. Right here. Like I said, right, when I'm done explaining this, right, there's going to be another little video of how I make this right here. And that is very crucial to this whole thing. So you're going to take this, make sure you got it in whatever peg you're comfortable with. You're going to bend your rod down. You're going to put that right in your last eye. You're going to take your line and you're just going to lay it in that little loop. And then that'll hang straight into your hole with your minnow. And when that's sitting down there, fish comes along, bites the minnow. You can see how that has a little bit of flex right there. That's so your minnow can kind of swim around and you're not going to set it off. But when he does hit, boom. Just like that, automatically sets the hook. Right at the very end here, this is the part that hooks into the eye of your rod. This little piece right here. By bending this up or down a little bit is going to set the tension of how quickly you want that to release. So if you have it closed more, it's going to have more pull on. It's going to take a little bit more to set it off. And if you have it a little bit more open, it's going to trigger faster. So you could probably use it for like bluegill too, if you want. You have to set it real light, so you have to have that way open. You'll have to play with it. on your tension. But like I say, that is your most important part of the whole thing right there. So with that being said, I hope I helped somebody out along the way. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. And hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And Walleyeotta. Go fishing. This right here is the most important part of the whole automatic hook set. This is your trigger right here. So kind of get a good look at this because you need to make this. This is made out of nothing more than a coat hanger. But this is your trigger that you're going to need to make this whole thing work. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's not really, you have to have it so long. It's just the whole angles and everything. It's roughly right about 3.5 inches long total from here to here, outside to outside. So what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of coat hanger right here, and I am going to slowly turn this thing into this right here. So I'm going to take a pair of needle nose pliers. First thing I'm going to do is make this loop right here. This very first bend right there. I'm going to take it about right there, and I'm just going to bend this thing right around. You're going to bend it till it's like that right there. Then you're going to come back about right where that edge is right there. You're going to bend it back the other way again. You're going to make an S out of this, or an 8, whatever you want to call it. Take that, and I'm going to bend that around. And you're going to want these two to touch now. You bend it as far as you can get it. Like that right there. You can even pinch it down a little bit more if you want. I'll show you why in a little bit. Should have had the rope in here. That's what I got. I'm a little bit off, but it's all the same. Just like that. We're shooting for that right now. Now we're going to take all the way to the end, to this bend right here. We're going to stay in line with it. You want to stay in line. We're going to bend it up at a 45-degree angle. Just going to kind of size this up a little bit. See about where I'm at. Pretty close right there. Now I'm just going to keep, like I say, you want to keep it in line. You're going to bend it up at a 45-degree angle. We're right about in that range right there. We're going to double check this. Actually, I went a little bit too far. So I'm going to bend it back just a little. Right there. And now I'm going to come up here. You can see where that is right there now. I want to come up and I'm going to turn this thing right down. Keeping everything in line, remember? You want to keep it all in line. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to bend it around to where it's pointing straight down. Just like that. Now we're like that. Now we're going to come to right here. and we're going to bend this loop, this piece right here. We're going to come all the way up. It's going to be pointing straight up, keeping everything in line. If it's not totally in line, we can kind of readjust it a little bit at the end, but for starters, that's what you want. So you're going to take this and you're going to bend it all the way, pointing straight up. It's going to be like that right there. I actually went the other way with it. I don't know if that's going to make any difference. You can see I got it kind of backwards. I should have bent it the other way. But I think it's going to serve the same purpose, because all this is just a nest for your line to lay in. So it's going to be the same thing here. It's just going to be opposite. So that's what I've got so far. Now I'm going to trim this thing right off. Take my nippers. And I'm going to nip this piece that's sticking straight off, level with the other curve. There she goes. So I have just made that hook. This is your trigger.